we're going to go ahead and keep on kicking what I was kicking earlier. I'm saying YouTube playing with me. I don't know why they're playing with me. My connection is just fine and things of that nature. But hey, and that's just how it goes sometimes. So I was saying I was breaking down the rising signs, right? So I was a Leo in the first house, and for anybody that was missing things or misunderstanding, so to speak, based on the circumstance situation that he's going through, I'm gonna go ahead and break down all the alignments as well. So like I was saying earlier, we got the moon conjuncting Venus, right? So feeling comfortable with our values at this point in time and having new experiences in what we value. And we have the moon sextile in Mars, Jupiter, and Lilith. So moon sextile in Mars is having new experiences in our passions and our communication styles based on our passionate communications, right? Then we also have moon sextile in Jupiter, the opportunity to feel comfortable expanding or saying escaping, so to speak, based on communication as well. And then we also have the moon sextile on Lilith, so seeing the opportunity to relate in our darkest moment and things of that nature, or feel comfortable expressing in our darkest moment, or have new experiences and relations. Having a ground in rebellion is essentially what Uranus is all about in Taurus. So, and like I say, I'm saying YouTube is playing with me, but hey, it's just how it go. I'm saying sometimes you have videos that go right in the algorithm, and I'm saying you pop off and do great. I'm saying, but other times it's like this is the first time I've ever had this circumstance situation where it says a very bad connection. So I'm gonna go ahead and that's why I went ahead and restarted the video. So moving forward, we have the moon trining the north node, and we also have the moon trining Chiron. So essentially having a gift to be in your purpose at this point in time and feel comfortable with your individual purposes, the north node. And then we also have the moon trining Chiron, right? So the moon trining Chiron is having the gift also to be in our individuality based on our wounded healer status and having new experiences based on us feeling comfortable in this individuality. Then moving forward, we also have the moon conjuncting Saturn and Neptune, right? And with this being said, I'm saying I also broke all this down in the previous video, but I don't know if y'all caught everything based on it. I'm saying tweaking out on me. So I'm gonna just briefly go through it. I'm saying you could check in with the last video as well if you want to hear me go more in depth with these circumstance situations. And an in conjunction is essentially a misunderstanding. So moon in conjuncting Saturn and Neptune is not maybe. It's feeling comfortable in the circumstance situation of our focus based on it being Leo, and then yeah, Saturn is on the stage at this point in time and feeling comfortable with the stage based on it being that misunderstanding. So essentially, we realize we need to restrict things to actually achieve our dreams, but this restriction actually doesn't benefit us at this point in time. So we might be in a circumstance situation where we feel comfortable just go ahead and expressing everything and let everything hit the fan. So I'm saying keep in mind that you don't want to be over dramatic at this point in time. Then we also have the moon in conjuncting Neptune, which is also in the Piscean space. Neptune, which is also in the Piscean space. So it's also a misunderstanding, like I say. So we may misunderstand our focus. Also misunderstanding, like I say. So we may misunderstand our focus or feeling comfortable with our focus on the stage, based on our dreams, illusions, and nightmares. So essentially, this dream that you're having, you may misunderstand the certain focus that you're dealing with at this point in time to a point where you're focusing on the wrong thing, so to speak. Then, last but not least, the moon opposing Pluto is feeling comfortable adding on or opposing to our transformation or deep change at this point in time. And like I say, this is part two because part one, I'm saying YouTube was playing. I'm saying pretty sure I broke everything down. Hear me? I'm gonna go ahead and check that out. I'm saying if y'all can't hear me properly, I'm gonna change the title of this video because at the end of the day, I got to everything. I'm saying, but yeah. So moving forward, we're going to break down all the rising signs. And I'm pretty sure I was at Gemini, but I'm going to go ahead and break everybody down again. You know what I'm saying? So Leo rising and Leo ascendant and Leo in the first house is having experiences on their individuality on the stage. And it's either you feel comfortable with your individuality at this point in time and feel comfortable with your circumstance situation on the stage. I'm grateful. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube is playing with me. Shout out to Heartman. Oh wait, I'm saying a kicking game. I'm saying it's kind of playing with me. But yeah, moving forward, we have Cancer in the second house. Pardon me, Cancer having. I'm gonna go ahead and move to a different spot. You know what I'm saying maybe this will help everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Give me one moment. It might be a little bit darker, but I'm going to be in a circumstance situation where it might be better. But, yeah. Give me 1 second, y'all. Turn this light down so it's a little bit brighter. Let me know if it's still lagging and things of that nature, because that's played out, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and break things down this way. And, like I say, Gemini rising is having, Cancer rising is having Leo in the second house. So Leo in the second house is all about your values of your circumstance situations on the stage, essentially. So you value new people, places, and things that are putting yourself on the stage or putting yourself in the forefront. I'm saying, yeah, dang, this is kind of wild, you know what I'm saying? So try a new circumstance situation. Let me know, like I said, go ahead and tap in with me. Let me know if it's still working out well, if it's playing with me still. So yeah, moving forward, let me go ahead and put this in a fixed spot. It might be better here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so essentially, based on the Gemini rising, it's either going to be seeing the opportunity. Well, let's see what y'all say. Shout out to Campy D Camper, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about. Read our love connection. I don't know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get more specific. Maybe I can answer your question. But yeah, getting back to what I'm talking about, Leo, you know what I'm saying, and the new moon is having new experiences, right? So essentially, Gemini rising is having new experiences in their environment, and they're seeing the opportunity to see both sides of this environment at this point in time. And you're saying you're either feeling comfortable being on a certain point or a certain side of things, or you're feeling uncomfortable realizing that you can either benefit things or be non-beneficial to things, saying harmonious or harmful, based on you being on, you know what I'm saying, seeing both sides. So you either feel comfortable in your environment or feel comfortable communicating in your environment at this point in time, or you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, moving forward, we have Taurus rising, which is having Leo in the fourth house. And the fourth house to Taurus is I'm saying a square. So essentially, you got to keep in mind that at this point in time, you need to learn to express your private matters and be more expressive. And whenever things hit the fan, you want to see something that benefits you. But yeah, shout out to my little plant, you know what I'm saying, in the background. This is something y'all haven't seen before. That's called a rubber tree, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my rubber tree. But yeah, it's kind of left field, but shout out to the Aquarius that gave that to me, you know what I'm saying? If you're watching this video, I salute you. But yeah, moving forward, essentially, the Taurus is either on the higher octave, being able to express their private matters and feel comfortable in these new experiences of expression, or on the lower octave to a point where you still want to be more recluse and make more sense before you express yourself at this point in time. And not to say that it's non-beneficial to, I'm saying, make more sense, but it's essentially to a point where sometimes you just got to get things off your chest, and it might not always make sense whenever you express yourself, but to a point where if you do get the expression out, then it can be beneficial. It seems like the connection is cool, but yeah, I'm gonna keep on rocking, you know what I'm saying? And moving forward, the Aries rising is having the Leo in the fifth house. So the fifth house is all about your expression. So essentially, you're having the gift to express and build or destroy based on being the Aries rising. You know what I'm saying? Because the Aries at this point in time is, like I say, having everything hit the fan based on the Leo energy, or you're saying you're being to a point where you want to separate from everybody being that Aries rising sign, or you want to see how could I personally relate and how could I personally benefit from my expression at this point in time. So yeah, moving forward, the Pisces rising is having the sixth house being in Leo, and the sixth house is all about your routine, pattern, and health. I'm saying also your work. So at this point in time, you may misunderstand a routine expression or something like that. I'm saying you're having new experiences to a point where the way that you've expressed yourself previously, I'm saying it's like non-beneficial at this point in time, and you kind of misunderstand that, like, this always worked before, and now I'm having new experiences, so now at this point in time, is it actually still the right thing to do, so to speak, on the stage? Or is this the right expression to be in? Yeah, pretty much like that's not what my whole page is about, but essentially it's all about learning yourself, heart man, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, moving forward, And the Aquarius rising is having the seventh house being in Leo, and the seventh house is all about your relations. So at this point in time, you're in an opposition, being that Aquarius rising. You're going to have new experiences in your relationships. So you can either add or oppose based on what you're relating to at this point in time. And moving forward, the Capricorn rising is having the eighth, essentially, just to be clear about the Aquarius, you're on the higher octave if your relationship is something you feel comfortable expressing yourself in, or you're on the lower octave if you feel uncomfortable expressing yourself in your relationship at this point in time. And you need to find a new experience to relate with to actually put yourself on the higher octave in the place that you actually feel comfortable, or a space, I mean to say. Moving forward, the Capricorn rising is having the eighth house being in Leo, and the eighth house is all about transformation and rebirth and behind the scenes and secrets, you know what I'm saying? And what happens behind closed doors happen behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type thing, you know what I'm saying? So at this point in time, you're misunderstanding transforming your expression. And based on the Capricorn initiating and creating their new ways of logistics and practicality, they may be in a circumstance situation where they misunderstand that they need to actually express themselves and be more on the forefront, so to speak, to a point where they realize what they got going on behind the scenes and what they feel comfortable with behind the scenes. They need to kind of bring that more to the forefront. If you're an Aquarius sun sign, it's a little bit different than the rising sign. But being an Aquarius sun sign is all about, I'm saying, shout out to Heartman. He asked, I'm an Aquarius, but I'm not sure what that means in general. So essentially, pretty much how I break it down to you, Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So they're all about being consistent or stubborn upon their way of communicating and thinking, right? So based on Leo being opposite, also being a fixed sign, but being a fire sign, at this point in time, you're either adding on or opposing to your relation or relationship. And based on the way that you act, either you can add on to the expression or the stage, or at this point in time, based on you being a part of the group, you can kind of like bring people down and dim people's light to a point. So like keep that in mind, being an Aquarius. I think you're talking about Aquarius sun sign. But yeah, moving forward, like I say, we're on Capricorn rising and first house and ascendant. So at this point in time, you're misunderstanding, like I say, transforming an expression. Because you being this earth sign, you want to be more practical at this point in time, but you may misunderstand that you need to be a little bit more focused on just expressing oneself and expressing what you got going on behind the scenes, and having whatever new experience you got going on behind the scenes. You might actually need to have a new expression about that, so to speak. Then moving forward, the Sagittarius rising is having the ninth house being in Leo, and the ninth house is all about knowledge, wisdom, and experience. And so keep this in mind. It's also about morality. So in the trine is a 120-degree angle. So Sagittarius is a trine to Leo based on them both being fire signs, right? So essentially you're having the gift, and keep in mind the trine is a gift. So you're having the gift to expand or escape in your expression at this point in time. So being more knowledgeable and wise at this point in time, you can be in a space where, okay, things might feel uncomfortable, but I can actually learn things based on this expression or this current stage that I'm dealing with. Then moving forward, the Scorpio rising, essentially that's how you put yourself on the higher octave, being the Sagittarius. Realize that at this point in time, you can learn something based on you actually being aware of the current stage, and you know what I'm saying, realize that there is more to learn. There is more to teach, so to speak. Then moving forward, the Scorpio rising is having the 10th house being in Leo, and the 10th house is all about your status, your blueprint, and your career. So at this point in time, you're learning to express a current status, and the status that you might be aware of is kind of like secretive, or to a point where you're aware of how two different people are interacting, but you're actually aware of how they're interacting behind the scenes to actually have that interaction on the forefront and to how they're relating with each other. So at this point in time, the status of your circumstance situation is something that you want to learn to express, to put yourself on the higher octave. So it's either Scorpio is kind of keeping more recluse and keeping more to themselves to a point where it's actually non-beneficial, to a point where they're kind of stinging themselves, or they're on a circumstance situation where the current status that they're dealing with, and keep in mind I say current because we talk about like a wave is like a current. So whatever you're currently going through, essentially you want to learn to put that on the stage and express that status. And then moving forward, the Libra rising is having the 11th house being in Leo, and the 11th house is all about your association, your groups. So keep in mind you're seeing the opportunity to relate on stage and associate at this point in time. And based on you being the Libra, you can see, okay, is this the actual stage that I want to relate to and be a part of? Or is this like on a stage that I'm having this new experience and I kind of feel uncomfortable and I need to find a different stage to deal with at this point in time, to put yourself on the higher octave. And last but not least, you know what I'm saying, we have the 12th house for Virgo, and pardon me, Virgo rising having Leo in the 12th house. And keep in mind the 12th house all about your dreams, illusions, and nightmares. So essentially, you're feeling comfortable expressing your new experiences of your dream and new dreams, I'm saying. Oh, yes, you are Aquarius sun sign, Heartman 08. You know what I'm saying? You said, I'm January 25th, if that matters. I'm always around people and I get along with everyone. To be honest, I call it a curse. And I mean, essentially, like Aquarius is so intelligent to a point where they're actually like the scientists. You kind of like go ahead and test the circumstance situation to see if it's actually beneficial or not beneficial to put your 2 cents in or put your thoughts and thoughts and ideas in based on you being that air sign. So sometimes you could be too smart for your own good. Keep that in mind. That's pretty much like the 2 cents I could give you. But yeah, getting back to my last but not least, the Virgo rising, having the 12th house being in Leo, it's essentially like the fatal attraction, so to speak. So being right beside Leo, you have this big dream and this new experience of your dreams at this point in time. And your dreams are very vivid to a point where it's like you might be in an illusionary space and it might be like, dag, I'm trying to change my mind, or I'm trying to change my routine and pattern based on you being this Virgo. I'm trying to change the details of my circumstance situation, but I seem to continue to have new experiences that actually put me in this delusion. Like, am I actually benefiting oneself at this point in time? So what I could tell you is to put yourself on that higher octave. Go ahead and dream big about what stage you want to be on, you know what I'm saying, and see if you can have those new experiences be accumulated. Or at this point in time, if you're dealing with the circumstance situation where you're in this illusion to a point where it actually feels like, dag, I'm changing my routine and pattern, I'm doing new things, but it's actually not changing my external reality. I'm saying keep at it, so to speak. Like, if you stay consistent, then other people can stay consistent with you. Like, for example, I'm not a Virgo rising, but what I would tell Virgo rising, if they were to be a content creator, I would tell them, I'm saying, your audience can only be consistent as you are coming live, I'm saying, and being consistent and breaking down your message or breaking down the details of your circumstance situation. So essentially, you kind of want to put yourself in a new circumstance situation. Yeah, shout out Heartman 08, you know what I'm saying? And to finish what I'm saying about the Virgo, it's essentially you want to be able to have new experiences about your dreams to a point where you could see how I could benefit oneself based on me dreaming big, so to speak. Because Leo is like the focus or the stage or the expression. So essentially, how you want to find yourself expressing in the future is kind of where you want to put yourself at. But yeah, if anybody was looking for a reading or things like that, you go ahead and tap into my email. You know what I'm saying? I also have the Cash App below. If you wanted, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and send a donation to support the movement you need to be in tune with. So yeah, much love and peace if you believe in, pardon me, I said that a little bit different. Peace and love if you believe in all that, you know what I'm saying? And holla back at me, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna tap in whenever the moon move into Virgo. So yeah, much love and peace if you believe in all that, you know what I'm saying? And support the movement you need to be in tune with. Peace.